My first job as a federal employee was a senior computer engineer. I joined NASA Glenn as a senior computer engineer, and one of my first tasks was to be able to interface multiple computers onto a network. So we had at that time IBM computers, DEC computers, mainframes, and that was the first time we were setting up a local area network. And so my task was to both do the hardware and the software, write the protocols so that all these computers can talk to each other. I think in order to be successful, you cannot just work on your own. You have to work as a team. And so some of the things that I try to instill on as a leader is to make sure employees are well versed in the soft skills as well. So communication skills, negotiation skills, how to be a customer-focused organization. These are just as important as being technically savvy. I would say there are several, but two that come to my mind. One, I have a passion for continuous learning, and I try to instill on that to all my employees. Anytime there's an opportunity to learn, please seize it. And federal government is one of the fantastic places. One of the hidden secrets is how much the federal government is willing to support you to get further in terms of training, accreditation, and additional development. And so I encourage all my employees to really work on that. Now, there are other opportunities as well, which is to be able to do details and other organizations. The more you can learn about an organization, especially outside your discipline, the more successful that you will be, even when you're doing IT. Because now you know exactly what the mission is about. And now you know you're contributing to the mission because you have been on the side of the mission also. So that's the first thing. And the second part of that, I would say, is one of the greatest advantages of working for the federal government is you're only limited by your capabilities and your ability to take initiative. I found early on in my career, I was able to take on more and more responsibilities. Not that was ascribed to me, but I just took it on and delivering on it. And that kind of bootstrapped you into a person people always came to have to solve difficult problems. And not only that, I also sought after difficult problems to solve. And I found that your influence continued to increase even if you're not a supervisor or a manager because of your ability to contribute and deliver results. And federal government allows you to do that because there's tremendous amount of work that needs to get done, and you're not so compartmentalized as you probably would be in a private industry as an entry-level employee. So I try to do the two things: continuous learning and take on as much responsibility and broaden your wings, being able to support the mission of the organization. I think I was lucky to have people that I could turn to because, as I always say, no one has an exclusive license for ideas and creativity. People are successful because there are other people willing to help you. So don't be afraid or shy to go and ask for help. Because the more you ask, the more you learn. The more you learn, the more resourceful that you are and more impact you have in your work. And then you'll be turning around and helping others do the same thing. So it's like the old saying, and it takes a village to raise a child. It's the same thing. To grow an employee to be a superstar, it requires a whole organization. But sometimes don't wait for somebody else to come and help you. You should seek it out. I found, I go back to the two tenets that I practice personally, which is lifelong learning. Try to be involved in that. Then the other fact is try to absorb as much as you can and contribute as much as you can. Because at the end of the day, other people will see how you have contributed and you'll be rewarded for that, rather than some people have the mission of, okay, I want to get to the next higher level or next higher job. But I would say the results speak much more loudly than that. So then the third thing is that learn how to work in teams. That is an important, like I said earlier, learning some of the soft skills is just as important as learning the technical skills. I mean, both are important. I'm not saying one is more important than the other, And plus, all these things will come to play when you're a leader. A leader has a lot more credibility when they have technical savviness. They don't have to be a technical expert, but they got to be able to understand, be able to decide between options that your employees present to you. So you got to have some definitely technical depth, but you also have to have that personality in terms of communication skills and the other soft skills that are important. So make sure you are a well-rounded person, and the more you can learn, the more well-rounded you are, the more valuable you are as an employee to your organization. And don't ever forget what the mission of the organization is. That's number one. One is there are lots of development programs that are available within the federal agencies. Try to apply for as many as you can, given your personal life situations and also your work situation. But you'll find most supervisors are very accommodating in terms of developing employees and giving them the time that is required to be a student or be able to learn things. And the other thing is also doing detailed assignments in other organizations so that you know more about the organization rather than only the specific technical area that you have been trained in. As a federal employee, especially as a new employee, you have tremendous latitude. In fact, that even applies even now, even at my level. The more you're willing to contribute, the more you're seen as a valuable employee, and the more you're able to be successful. And you can define success in very different ways. I define success is not because of my position or the money I make or anything like that. It's the impact I have. When I sleep at night and when I go to bed at night, I say, what did I do to say that I did a good job for the government? And if I see my fingerprints on either the ideas or the implementations and has delivered value to my organization, then I know I contributed. And that is the best satisfaction you can have.